Where the hummingbirds come from? How did I tee they eat up? The author Adley Marie Krauts and translated by Elliot K. Bryant, myself. It was a cold winter day. The snow was falling outside and grandmother was in her chair by the fireplace. She had that faraway look she gets sometimes. I crawled up into her lap, hoping for a story. Sakopan yan instead kes jites eat Hannet such as hotol nsingo biseske ki bakate eshna. She wrapped her arms around me and said, "When I was a little girl just like you, my grandmother told me about some magic waters. She's nashit. Although anne at ediagen nishliata nigit egos massanet tro a lil ye shall hold net." Grandmother smiled at me and asked, "Would you like to hear what she had to say?" Shamasan shit but hojon auto nashit nilkit. Hanna shis hulna saishben nahashne. Oh boy, I thought, as I eagerly shook my head. Yes, this is just what I was hoping for. Hakoshi nizi sits in sesmas o schnigo deep but no cieli. This is the way my grandmother told me. Digi at all shmasane shilholne. It was the time of new beginning. I also included also from the underworld during the emergence, when the leaves bust open on the trees and the flowers started to bloom. In the meadow, up in the mountains near the cabin where I was born, a babbling brook appeared out of nowhere. Hoteyada or Bekadet Simbat the Nessa auto Bichelata Hojon da Itsui Haltsuiko this Brago Niran Bigate Sitis Chin Tohas na Hade she ya just hit na halen. The water was fresh and clear and sweet like nectar. Tonliliki ton toleto chilatha hujon betho sakhani na halen. It flowed across the meadow where it cascaded over the rocks, and then as soon as it began to bounce across the rocks, the water glistened with the fabulous colors of nature. Halsuit setna se ka ginle. Unasit sepakat ha na. Nikit this niko tot ntistlad. Digi na san bit anjet njonago be ndas Grandmother's voice was almost a whisper as she went on to say, Then the water began to sing and the breeze started to blow very soft and gentle. Så massanet o hayite. Yajil shit. Another need. Tonlinigit. Tahini tras do nilchit ado do yego. Hotesh do yego hotesh. As the breeze hit the magic waters, it lifted a dainty mist into the air. In the mist were all the colors in the rainbow as the sun sparkled off the spray of water. To alil begin chiko. Nilkhas shol de go to but ahal do nilshol be yette. Not illet da ki jona egit ega but atas tras. Suddenly, grandmother said, with a gleam in her eye, from the song of the magic waters and the colors of the rainbow, the mist became hummingbirds. Oh, some massanen but not the school and to a little begin. To not ill that dashaki Tajos Tahiti das Lee. My grandmother told me, just as I am telling you, this is what happened next. They spread their wings, that flops in the air, fanned out their tails, and even flew backward. But what that not nahidit but say ya they let do jit go they Grandmother spread out her arms and with a big smile on her face and exclaimed, "What great fun they are having dancing in the sun." So masana began they did ja do chatel lo or yopes tahonan Sanj yita jiljish Sweeping and twirling they fanned out across the meadow, they fluttered over the flowers, putting their tiny beaks in each one, taking a taste of the nectar as they went from one to the next. Bis hata to bis a yosko hat na deit chelatha huzon bakago but they pass. Tapatat asagit no tinigo chelatha huzon but ho yet dates ons. Asa ke. They like the red flowers the best, or so it seemed. This is the reason people put red coloring in their hummingbird feeders. At least this is what my grandmother said. Chelathahujon tlichi pistal kan do dai edats. Deepen na the nelchi dach ahi dahiti ahli. You can't date less a condi. So masane and this magic continued through the 9th day of the April, making hummingbirds of all colors. Have you ever noticed, grandmother asked, that the hummingbird's colors shimmer like the sun reflecting off of a raindrop? The elilak egot achil nast eyol kalpi yet a whole zizgo as an da ski da he tihi ndahachi. Ash ba hunzen, shamasane nash the kid. At the end of the day, on the 9th of April, the magic water quietly went back to the ground. Wonder. Grandmother said with a quizzical look on her face, if my grandmother's story has the magic water disappear on April 9th because it is my birthday. In agot achil nast eyol kalko tolil ador it's I niti inna niti inna jo insens masane en naidil kitgo en achil nast ego nahako masane pa hojil na tolil yo anana. Shit is chinikin nahaljish kopenin na. Away on with the story, she said with a smile, as she hugged me tightly. This is how we have the hummingbird. Okoko hashna, chidaltlo, snaz chill. Dige at all, dahi tihi. These tiny lovely birds come back every year. They move from flower to flower, dancing in the sky and putting on a show for anyone who cares to watch. Sitting down the zone at is in the hat chelet hahujon, but hako deine wotatin dahat heshin. Now then, my grandmother told me that hummingbird is a symbol of love and happiness. Grandmother gave me a big kiss on the cheek and said, so I am passing this love and happiness on to you. Shamasane Sinichi Sis ons ado enne Okokoti ayo neto is Hujon Nikiche go Nan Shle. As I have grown older, I have noticed the hummingbirds began to appear in my yard every year right around my grandmother's birthday. Siya ho akot. Anaha bike. Samasane bitis chiniki nahal jisko. Tahitihi shigante nahatahat a. I wonder, Shin is April 9th a magic day? Achil nast eyol kalkunesh ilis bitje.